Headphones are everywhere. Whether you're commuting on a crowded bus, working out at the gym, studying in a coffee shop, or just relaxing at home, chances are you've got earbuds in or headphones on. For many people, they're not just a gadget, they're a lifestyle. Music, podcasts, phone calls, even online classes are all streamed straight into our ears. But as headphones have become part of our daily lives, so has a growing concern. Do they damage your hearing over time? In other words, is it true that headphones can actually make you go deaf if you're not careful? Or is this just another health myth meant to scare people? This question matters because hearing is one of those senses we take for granted, until it's gone. Unlike a strained muscle or a tired voice, hearing loss often sneaks up silently. You don't wake up one morning completely deaf. Instead, it happens gradually. You might start noticing that you need to turn the TV louder, or that conversations in noisy restaurants feel harder to follow. For young people, especially those who spend hours with headphones on, the idea that something as harmless as listening to music could lead to permanent damage feels surprising, even unfair. But doctors and scientists warn that it's not just possible, it's happening more often than we realize. So, let's break it down. Headphones themselves aren't evil. They don't automatically cause hearing loss just because you wear them. The real issue is volume and time. Sound is measured in decibels, and the higher the decibel level, the greater the risk to your ears. Normal conversation hovers around 60 decibels. City traffic can hit 85. A rock concert or blasting headphones that can easily climb to 100 decibels or more. The danger zone for hearing begins around 85 decibels if you're exposed for a long time. The louder the sound, the less time it takes to damage your ears. Think of your ears like a delicate sound system with tiny hair cells inside the inner ear. These hair cells act like microphones, translating vibrations into signals your brain understands as sound. Once these hair cells are damaged, they don't grow back. It's like snapping the strings on a piano. They won't tune themselves again. That's why hearing loss from loud noise is permanent. And here's the catch. Blasting music through headphones, especially over long periods, can overwhelm and eventually kill those hair cells. To put this into perspective, experts often use the 60-60th rule. It means listening at no more than 60% of the maximum volume for no more than 60 minutes at a time. Yet most of us break this rule without thinking. How many times have you cranked up your headphones to drown out traffic, gym noise, or chatter in a cafe? It feels harmless, but every time you do it, you're adding stress to those fragile hair cells. Here's an example many can relate to. Imagine a teenager who loves music. Every day, they put on their earbuds and listen at high volume for hours while doing homework, scrolling through social media, or gaming. They don't notice anything wrong at first. But after a few years, they realize conversations feel muffled. They have trouble hearing teachers in class unless they sit close. By the time they go for a hearing test, the damage is done. The headphones didn't make them deaf overnight, but the years of loud listening slowly chipped away at their hearing. It's important to understand that hearing loss doesn't always mean total deafness. It often starts subtly. Maybe you notice ringing in your ears after a concert or a long day of loud music. That's called tinnitus, and it's often a warning sign of damage. Maybe you start mishearing words in noisy places. Over time, these small issues can add up to permanent hearing problems. So is the fear justified? The answer is yes and no. Wearing headphones at a safe volume and for reasonable lengths of time is generally fine. But using them carelessly, too loud, too long, too often, absolutely increases your risk of hearing loss over time. The technology itself isn't dangerous. The way we use it can be. This makes the headphone debate so fascinating because it's not really about the device. It's about habits. It's about how easily we sacrifice long-term health for short-term comfort. After all, turning up the volume feels good in the moment. It immerses you in your favorite song and shuts out the world. But the price, if you're not careful, is your hearing years or even decades earlier than expected. In the next part, we'll explore the first key solution: how to build safe listening habits that let you enjoy your music without putting your ears at risk. Because the goal isn't to scare you away from headphones, it's to show you how to use them wisely so you can keep your hearing sharp for life. Now that we know the real issue with headphones isn't the device itself but the way we use them, the first key solution becomes clear: learning to practice safe listening habits. This isn't about giving up your music or tossing your headphones away. It's about making small, smart adjustments that protect your ears while still letting you enjoy everything you love. The most important habit to master is controlling volume. Experts often talk about the 60-60th rule. It's simple. Keep the volume at no more than 60% of the maximum and limit your listening time to about 60 minutes at a stretch. After that, give your ears a short break. Think of your ears like muscles. Just like your legs get tired after running, your ears need rest after long listening sessions. If you keep pushing without breaks, they wear down faster. But here's the problem. Many of us ignore the 60-60th rule because we listen in noisy places. On a bus, in a crowded cafe, or at the gym, background sounds tempt us to turn the volume up. Before we know it, the music is blasting at 90%, and our ears are taking the hit. A better option is to use noise-cancelling headphones or snug-fitting earbuds. By reducing outside noise, you won't feel the need to crank the volume so high. In other words, the right gear can help you protect your hearing without even realizing it. Another key habit is recognizing warning signs. Have you ever felt ringing in your ears after listening to loud music? That's called tinnitus, and it's often the first sign your ears are stressed. If you regularly leave a concert, party, or long gaming session with ringing or muffled hearing, your ears are asking for help. Treat that ringing as an alarm bell, not just an annoyance. It's your body telling you the sound was too much. If ignored, those episodes can stack up and lead to permanent damage. Safe listening is also about building rituals that protect you over time. For example, instead of defaulting to headphones all day, choose moments of silence. If you're working at your desk, maybe keep headphones off for the first hour. If you're walking somewhere safe, let the world's natural sounds be your background instead of music. These little pauses don't just protect your ears, they can actually make your music sound better when you do listen, because your ears feel refreshed instead of fatigued. Here's a practical story. Imagine a young professional who loves music and podcasts. They used to wear earbuds 8 hours a day, at work, during their commute, even at home. Over time, they noticed constant ringing in their ears. After learning about safe listening, they started following the 60-60th rule. They also bought noise-cancelling headphones so they didn't have to blast the volume on the train. Within weeks, the ringing faded, and they realized they could enjoy their audio just as much, without punishing their ears. It wasn't about giving something up, it was about changing how they listened. Another smart habit is to set volume limits on your devices. Most smartphones have settings that allow you to cap maximum volume. That way, even if you're tempted to turn it up in the moment, you can't push it to the level where damage is likely. Think of it as a safety lock. Once it's set, you don't have to worry about going too far. And let's not forget the role of parents. For kids and teenagers, safe listening habits are especially critical. Children's ears are more sensitive, and the habits they build now can affect their hearing for decades. If a child grows up thinking loud is normal, they're at greater risk of early hearing loss. Parents can set volume limits on their kids' devices, encourage breaks, and talk openly about why protecting hearing matters. After all, the goal isn't to scare kids, it's to give them control over their health in a way they understand. Ultimately, safe listening isn't about being strict, it's about being mindful. It's about asking yourself, do I really need this volume level? Could I lower it a little and still enjoy my music? Could I take a short break instead of pushing through another hour? These questions may feel small, but over years they can be the difference between sharp hearing and struggling to catch conversations. So the first solution is simple. Adjust your habits now while you still have the choice. Keep the volume reasonable, give your ears breaks, and use the right equipment to block out noise without blasting your favorite songs. The reward isn't just avoiding hearing loss decades from now, it's also about enjoying clearer, crisper sound today. Healthy ears hear better, and that means your music, your podcasts, and even your conversations feel richer and more vibrant. By now, it's clear that headphones don't cause hearing loss on their own. It's how we use them that matters. Turning the volume up too high and listening for too long can create real, permanent damage. But here's something people often overlook. Protecting your hearing isn't only about lowering the volume. It's also about supporting your ears through your overall lifestyle. The health of your hearing is connected to the health of your whole body, which means the choices you make every day, what you eat, how you move, how you rest, all play a role in keeping your ears strong. One of the most surprising connections is between circulation and hearing. The tiny hair cells inside your inner ear depend on a steady flow of oxygen and nutrients delivered by blood. If your circulation is poor, your ears are among the first parts of your body to suffer. That's why habits that improve circulation, like regular exercise, are powerful protectors of hearing. When you walk, swim, dance, or do any kind of activity that gets your blood moving, you're not just helping your heart and muscles. You're also nourishing the delicate systems in your ears that allow you to pick up sound. Let's take an example. Imagine someone who spends hours each day with headphones on, sitting at a desk. If they also rarely move their body, their circulation slows down, and their hearing becomes more vulnerable. But if that same person starts going for a 20-minute brisk walk daily, they'll boost their circulation, which helps protect their ears against long-term stress. Pair that with moderate listening habits, and suddenly their risk of hearing loss is much lower. It's a reminder that good hearing isn't just about ears, it's about the whole body working well. Diet also matters. Nutrients like vitamin C, vitamin E, magnesium, and zinc have been linked to better ear health because they fight free radicals and inflammation, both of which can damage the inner ear. Omega-3 fatty acids, found in fish like salmon, are especially important. Studies suggest that people who eat more omega-3s are less likely to develop age-related hearing loss. Why? Because omega-3s improve circulation and reduce inflammation, two major factors in preserving hearing. So, if you're sipping green tea, eating colorful fruits and vegetables, and including nuts or fish in your meals, you're not just taking care of your heart or brain, you're also taking care of your ears. Stress management is another hidden factor. High stress levels raise cortisol, a hormone that doesn't just affect your mood but also your body's ability to regulate blood pressure and circulation. Chronic stress has been linked to tinnitus, the ringing in the ears that can drive people crazy. By managing stress with healthy outlets like meditation, yoga, or simply taking breaks to breathe deeply, you're protecting not just your peace of mind but also the sensitive systems that keep your hearing sharp. And then there's sleep. Many people underestimate how vital sleep is for hearing health. When you're sleep deprived, your body doesn't repair itself properly. The hair cells in your ears don't get the recovery time they need. Over the long term, poor sleep is associated with higher risks of hearing problems, especially when combined with loud listening habits. Getting 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep doesn't just make you feel more energized, it gives your ears the downtime they need to heal from daily sound exposure. Let's put this all together in a story. Imagine a young adult who loves music and spends hours gaming with headphones on. They're often stressed, eat mostly fast food, and stay up late. Eventually, they notice ringing in their ears after long gaming sessions. Concerned, they make changes. They buy noise-canceling headphones and lower the volume, but they also start walking daily, cooking balanced meals, practicing deep breathing for stress, and going to bed earlier. Over time, not only does the ringing fade, but their overall energy and focus improve. The lesson: protecting hearing isn't just about the ears, it's about living a balanced lifestyle. So, the second key solution is clear. If you want to keep your hearing strong, don't just think about headphones, think about your whole body. Move regularly to boost circulation. Eat nutrient-rich foods that support inner health. Manage stress so your body doesn't stay in overdrive. Sleep enough to let your ears recover. These habits don't just reduce your risk of hearing loss, they also make life healthier and more enjoyable overall. We've explored how headphones can affect your hearing, why volume and time matter so much, and how healthy lifestyle habits can protect your ears. But now let's step back and look at the bigger picture. The third and most important step is realizing that hearing health is a long game, and the choices you make every day, whether it's adjusting your volume, taking breaks, or caring for your overall health, determine how sharp your ears stay for decades to come. One of the biggest myths about hearing loss is that it only happens to older people. Many imagine it as something that arrives suddenly in their 70s or 80s, like a switch being flipped. But the reality is very different. Noise-induced hearing damage can begin in your teens, 20s, or 30s, and it builds slowly over time. You may not notice it at first. You might only realize years later that the quiet damage has already stolen part of your hearing. That's why awareness matters now, not later. Another myth is that hearing loss is just about not being able to hear soft sounds. In truth, early hearing loss often shows up in subtle but frustrating ways. Maybe you can hear people talking, but you struggle to understand them when there's background noise. Maybe you need to keep asking friends to repeat themselves. Or maybe you notice ringing, buzzing, or a muffled feeling in your ears after loud events. These early signs are often brushed aside, but they're your body's way of warning you. Listening to those warnings and acting on them can make all the difference. So what does acting on them look like? It looks like making headphones work for you instead of against you. Keep the volume moderate. Invest in quality headphones that block outside noise so you're not tempted to crank the sound. Follow the 60/60th rule and give your ears time to rest. Build a routine where silence is part of your day, not just constant sound. Think of silence as medicine for your ears. It gives them a chance to reset. It also looks like supporting your hearing with the healthy choices we talked about earlier. Eat well, move your body, manage stress, and sleep enough. These habits don't just keep your ears strong, they improve your entire life. Clearer energy, better mood, sharper focus, and yes, better hearing. It's all connected. For many people, the turning point is realizing that hearing isn't just about sound, it's about connection. When you can hear clearly, you stay connected to conversations, music, laughter, and the world around you. When hearing fades, it can lead to isolation, frustration, and even cognitive decline. That's why protecting your ears matters so deeply. You're not just guarding against deafness, you're protecting your ability to connect, to communicate, to enjoy life fully. Let's imagine a story to bring this home. Picture a music lover in their 20s who never thought twice about blasting songs through earbuds. For years, they pushed the volume up to drown out city noise. By their 40s, they start to notice trouble following conversations in restaurants. At first, they feel embarrassed, even irritated, blaming others for mumbling. But then they remember the years of loud listening and realize the truth. Their choices caught up with them. Now, compare that to someone who loved music just as much but chose to protect their ears. They kept the volume moderate, used noise-canceling headphones, and gave their ears breaks. In their 40s, they still enjoy concerts, conversations, and favorite playlists with clarity. The difference wasn't luck, it was choice. And that's the hopeful message here. Hearing loss from noise is preventable. Unlike aging, which we can't control, noise exposure is something we can manage. Every time you lower the volume, every time you swap an hour of loud listening for silence, every time you care for your overall health, you're shaping your hearing future. So, is it myth or fact that headphones can make you go deaf over time? The answer is this: headphones themselves don't make you deaf. But if you use them carelessly, too loud, too long, too often, they absolutely can lead to permanent hearing loss. That's not a myth, that's science. The myth is believing your ears can handle anything forever. They can't. They're delicate, and once damaged, they can't be repaired. But here's the empowering truth. You have the power to protect your hearing. You don't have to give up your headphones or stop enjoying music. You just need to listen smarter. Lower the volume, take breaks, and live a lifestyle that supports your hearing. That way, decades from now, you'll still be able to enjoy the songs, voices, and sounds that make life beautiful. At the end of the day, protecting your hearing isn't about fear, it's about freedom. The freedom to keep enjoying what you love without limits. The freedom to stay connected to the people around you. And the freedom to know that the choices you made today gave you a healthier, more independent tomorrow.